and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel, guys. Barca knew that going into tonight's game, Real Madrid had won, Sevilla had won, Atletico had won, so Barca had to do the same against Getafe. In the end, we have scored 5 goals, and one of those was an absolutely brilliant own goal. We're going to be talking about the full game that just happened, and which secured 3 more points as the title race, it continues. Let's get to it. But in terms of the team selection from Ronald, it was pretty much as we expected going into the game. Of course, we said that we didn't really expect too many changes at all from the team that played in the Copa del Rey final, and indeed there was just the one change with Sergio Roberto coming in for Serginho Dest at right back, giving either a little bit of rest to Dest, but also maybe an opportunity here, which I do feel Sergio Roberto did not take. But I've got to say, we started the game with a really good attitude, good intensity, and it did not take long before Barca had really scared Getafe, and it was Antoine Griezmann at the heart of the move there, just outside the area. He leaves 2 men for dead. Absolutely brilliant piece of play. Plays it back to Lionel Messi. Messi there, 1 touch out of his feet, and it's a stunning effort. It truly was. This would have been an absolute wonder goal from Messi, because the goalkeeper, as you can see here, it's always really cool when they're just rooted to the spot. He couldn't even move. All he could do was watch that. It crashes off the bar, bounces down so close, but Messi there denied by the woodwork. But of course, he was certainly not going to take no for an answer against Getafe, because just minutes later, it was Sergio Busquets, who I thought in that first half especially, he was brilliant. He was sort of 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of every single other player out on the field. He was seeing things that nobody else could, and it was an absolutely brilliant ball there, in behind to Messi, not only seeing the pass there, but executing it there with brilliant weight on it. Messi there can just run onto the ball, and I have to say, when Messi was running full sprint there in behind Getafe, I was a bit worried because he did seem to lose his balance. He was sort of trying to keep it together. He gets inside the area though, one-on-one with the goalkeeper on his left foot. You never had any doubt whatsoever that that ball was going to end up into the back of the net, and we were underway 1-0 nice and early, and we were hoping that it was going to be a relatively stress-free game. However, that was certainly not the case throughout, because just moments later, a few minutes after that, there was a coming together between Mingueza and also their Kubo, who actually seemed to strike Mingueza on his knee. It was sort of accidental. He didn't mean to do it, but he did make contact there, and Mingueza was down in some serious pain there, clutching his knee, and as a result of that, he did go off there for some treatment. And because then we were down to 10 men, Getafe, they took advantage. It was a really open piece of play here. Defending from Barcelona was not good. Sergio Roberto there lets Cucurella get way ahead of him, and certainly there's not enough closing down, there's not enough attention on the ball to stop the cross. The ball comes in, Angel gets something on it, but actually the ball there ends up going in off Clement Lenglet, who's a sitting duck, hits him, goes into the back of the net. Getafe had an equaliser, and in that moment in the game, things were quite balanced. But if we did have an element of bad luck down the one end with Lenglet's own goal, what was to come certainly made up for that. This has to be one of my moments of the season, because you know the Getafe, they're not a nice team to play against. They're a very physical team. They make some terrible challenges. They're not good to watch. So what happened next was quite beautiful, because Pedri overruns the ball. We lose possession. Getafe have it back. There's no danger. There's nothing on. No problem at all for them. They've got the ball, and basically they try and play it back to their goalkeeper. The problem is, though, number one, they play that pass blind. They don't really look where they're going to pass it. The goalkeeper has already come a long way out of his goal. There's too much on the ball, and suddenly it's past him. He's running there towards his own goal. He cannot stop the ball from going in. Getafe shoot themselves in the foot. It was a truly comical error, and what I loved about that was the aftermath. The goalkeeper there was looking at the defender was looking at the goalkeeper. They were all saying, what are you doing? And he was saying, no, what are you doing? But all we know is Getafe there gifting us a goal, and it was a big goal in the game too, because just before half-time, Messi was going to add to his tally. Lenglet there winning the ball very high up the pitch that he was. Messi then hits it first time on the volley across the goalkeeper. It's actually a brilliant save, and Soria there tipping it onto the post, but the ball kindly comes back to Messi. It was almost there, like he was assisting himself. There you go, layout off the post, back to me. I'm going to finish this off there. It was a tight angle, but Messi is more than capable of scoring from there. And these goals, by the way, mean that Lionel Messi this season, Messi, the individual player, has scored more than Getafe have as a team. Wow! And so at half-time, the score there was Barca 3, Getafe 1, but I have to say in the second half it was far from comfortable, and there were a few changes there at half-time which did change things in the game. Piqué went off, who maybe there was being saved by Ronald, given the fact that of course he has had his injury problems this season, and also Clement Lenglet went off, who was on a yellow card. Now in their places, Araújo came on, played there of course in place of Piqué at centre-back, but then Ilaix Moriba came on into midfield, which meant that Frenkie de Jong there was playing at the centre of defence, and I don't really think we played that well. Second half for me reminded me very much so, I've heard a few people say it now, of a Valverde half of football, because yes, in the end we got the job done, yes, in the end we scored the goals, but it was very, very messy indeed, it was disjointed, we didn't exactly look confident in ourselves so much of that second half. 20 minutes later in the game, Sergio Roberto went off. Like I say, I didn't feel as though he had a good game whatsoever today, and Francisco Trincao came on. Then we went to a back four, Mingueza went to right back, Trincao had a few opportunities, probably could have done better, a bit of a sluggish first touch at times, maybe that comes as a result of the lack of game time that he has been having. But it was with 20 minutes to go where the problems did start to become quite serious for Barcelona, because the ball there comes across the box, Araújo makes a bit of a lunge, it wasn't really a good tackle, sort of going in there a little bit clumsy on Enesu. Now, referee didn't give anything at the time, but as the play went on, he stopped it then, went to consult VAR, and he decided to award Getafe a penalty. And isn't it funny how VAR works perfectly when it's nothing to do with Barcelona getting a penalty themselves? Whenever that's on the cards, VAR, now we're not even going to bother having a look, but Getafe given a penalty here, and look, rightly so, poor from Araújo, who said after the game that he needs to be more focused in those areas. Getafe scored, and they were well and truly back in the game. And I do want to draw some attention here to Ronald, who was getting really, really angry there on the sidelines. He was not happy there right throughout that second half, and especially there after we conceded that goal. I think he was a bit worried that we were getting complacent in the game. And if you look here, when Ronald was shouting, the TV directors seemed to suggest that he was actually aiming his anger there at Oscar Mingueza. And it was interesting then, because Mingueza was subbed off, and Titi came on, Barca then went back again to the back three, and that meant there that Barca had subbed off all three of the centre-backs that started in today's game, and that's not really the stability you want at the heart of your defence. And as you can see here, when Mingueza made his way off the field, when he went to the bench, he made a real effort there to go and shake the hand of Ronald Koeman. I think he did want to see that Koeman, wasn't too angry with him. And I've got to say here, Koeman, he was not too nice towards Mingueza. It wasn't really a friendly affair there. Obviously, Ronald Koeman is focusing on the game. He made a point of telling Mingueza that, but quite clearly, he was very, very angry there with something that Mingueza did in a phase of play or in general performance. I didn't think, he was anything drastically wrong with his game today, so I don't really understand what went on there. But what we do need to know is that Barca stuck on in there. It wasn't comfortable, it wasn't easy, but Araújo giving away the penalty at the one end, making amends at the other. Just minutes from the end of the game, Messi there with one of those in-swinging corners, Araújo there at the near post, and I do think Araújo in the area, he is such a threat. Very, very rarely from corners are we ever any good, but he gets up head and shoulders there above anyone else, towering over the ball. Really good goal. That cemented the win for Barcelona, and there was even time for another one too. Griezmann brought down in the area, penalty given, and you've got to say again here for Messi, he's somebody who's been desperate to get a hat-trick this season. He was on 2 goals there, had a few chances, he deserved to get a hat-trick and take home the match ball, but no. Again, selfless from him, giving the ball to Griezmann. He gets himself here, brilliant penalty, another goal in a Barcelona shirt, continuing his strong form. We walk away with all 3 points. And although it wasn't the best performance, we know that Getafe are a difficult team to face. They're a very, very difficult side to go and take all 3 points off, just like Real Madrid found out a few days ago. And in a game where we needed to win, we did exactly that. Which means that when we look at the La Liga table right now, Atlético Madrid remain top of the league on 73 points. Real Madrid there are 3 points back, and Barca 2 points back from Real. But of course you will also notice that Barca have a game in hand there. So once we do play that game, providing of course that we do win it, our title hopes, they will still remain firmly in our hands. For us, there is 7 games to go. For the rest, there remains to be 6. And this is going to be a fascinating run-in where every single game, every single moment, it's going to count. And tonight, we took ourselves one step closer. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below, guys, on the game. It has been a whirlwind week in the footballing world, but the most important thing tonight was that focus was back on the football. Let me know all of your thoughts, and our focus now moves to our next game against Villarreal. I will see you soon, guys. Thanks indeed for watching and for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça!